Hey, fourth grade, time for another chapter of Because of the Rabbit. So I decided to sit outside to read today because it's so nice out. And I'm near the alpaca pen, so they might join us. I don't know. They're a little shy sometimes. I see one peeking right there. He might come closer. Let's watch and see. When I got home, Mom told me that Owen had texted. He made the soccer team. Now he'd probably have practice every day. That's great, I said flatly, unpacking my backpack. I could smell that she'd been baking something yummy. What smells so good? Mom grinned. I baked chocolate chip cookies. Oh, we have a peeker. There's Hillbilly. How many kids are coming over today? Only Jack, I said. Thanks so much for making cookies, though. And can I borrow your phone? I'll need to take a video. Mom nodded. Sure, it's on the counter. I put her phone in my pocket. Just so you know, I said, feeling like I should warn her, Jack's a little bit different. I think he might have some special needs. Different makes life more interesting, Mom said. I nodded, though that seemed like one of those easy things people say to gloss over hard parts. He especially likes to talk about animals. Just like you, Mom said. Even more than me, I said. In fact, if there were a TV game show where all the categories were animals, Jack could be the millionaire. But when Jack and his mom arrived, I was surprised that he stepped back as Molly and Maggie came over, barking, tails wagging. Girls, Mom said sharply to the dogs, go lie down. As Molly and Maggie trudged to their beds, Jack's mom said softly, it's a sensory thing. Jack loves to read about animals, but in real life, they can be overwhelming for him. No problem at all, Mom said. Can I make you a cup of tea or coffee while the kids do their homework? Tea would be lovely. I'll put the tea kettle on, Mom said. Make yourselves at home, and if you'd like to wash your hands, the bathroom is through that door. But no frogs are in there, Jack said sadly. Mom laughed. Oh, Emma told you about those? You're right. We don't have frogs in the bathroom regularly. That was just a homeschool science project. The frogs grew up and we let them go back in the pond where we'd found the eggs. Let's work in my room, Jack, I said, quickly to change the subject. My rabbit is there, but he only makes quiet sounds. I got a piece of kale and a few blueberries from the refrigerator for Lappy, and the plate of chocolate chip cookies for Jack and me. Come on, let's go. As we were climbing the stairs, I heard Jack's mom talking to mine in the kitchen. Thank you for having us over. The other kids at school are mostly kind to Jack, but they almost never think to include him outside of school. So this really is nice. It's nice for Emma, too, Mom said. She's been hoping for a friend. I felt bad that Jack and I were both getting left out of things. Being left out hurts. I turned to him and rolled my eyes, in case he was embarrassed, just like I was that our mothers were talking about us. But his eyes were focused on my bedroom door, his fingers flickering at his sides. He looked a little scared. It's okay, I said. Lappy can stay in his pen if you want. When I opened my bedroom door, Lappy immediately put his paws up on the side of the pen, excited to get out and have a run. Later, I promised him. Jack and I have work to do. Lappy thumped his back foot on the floor. Rabbits thump to warn other rabbits about danger, Jack said. Usually, I said, but this rabbit's telling me that he wants to have a run, and he's mad that I said no. Jack stared at Lappy, his fingers twitching harder. Let me out of here. Did he mean Lappy or himself? Are you okay? I asked. I'm fine, Jack said plainly, without taking his eyes off Lappy. How are you? I smiled. I'm fine. Lappy thumped his back foot again. He's mad that you said no, Jack said, his eyes bright with excitement. He wants to get out. Was Jack asking me to let Lappy out? Hey, I have an idea. But it's okay if you don't want to. A good idea, Jack asked. Well, you get to decide if it's good or not, I said. You could sit at my desk and pull your feet up on the chair. I promise Lappy won't jump there. I lost my place. He can have a little run around the room, and then I'll put a treat in his pen, and he'll go right back in there to get it. Jack didn't look 100% sure, but he sat on my desk chair and put his heels up on the seat. As soon as I opened the door, Lappy hopped easily onto my braided rug. His first free hops were always light and dainty. Little front feet, big back feet. Then he'd pick up speed, darting under my bed and out again with long leaps that were fast. He'd lose his footing and slide on the hardwood floor. Jack gave a high-pitched laugh. He's a wascally wabbit, he said in his Elmer Fudd voice. He sure is, I said. In between hops, Lappy would suddenly stop and rub his chin on something, claiming it. Dresser edge, mine. Heater, mine. Quilt, mine. Bookshelf, mine. Lappy paused and rubbed his chin on my foot, his whiskers tickling around my flip-flops. You, mine. He's claiming me, I said. Then Lappy suddenly leaped and twisted like all the happiness inside him had exploded and lifted him into the air. He landed facing Jack. That's called a binky. I read about it in the rabbit book I got in the library. It means he's happy. I handed Jack a blueberry. The book also said blueberries are one of their favorite things. Jack threw the blueberry at Lappy's feet. He sniffed it and then ate it up. I should have known that he would love them, I said. My Pepe used to tell stories about how Monsieur Lapin tricked Monsieur Renard the fox out of his blueberries. What story? Jack asked. I hesitated. It was one thing to remember Pepe's stories or tell them in our family. It was a whole different thing to tell another kid that I didn't even know that well. Sorry, fourth grade, it's a little bit distracting with eyes behind me who are actually making noise. I hesitated. It was one thing to remember Pepe's stories or to tell them to our family. It was a whole different thing to tell another kid that I didn't even know that well. But Jack stared at me, just waiting. So I took a deep breath. It happened once that Monsieur Lapin saw Monsieur Renard the fox sitting in the blueberry patch, grooming his beautiful red tail before he feasted on all those delicious berries. Foxes are omnivores, Jack said. They eat both plants and animals. That's good to know, I said. But Monsieur Lapin has magic, and this is a story. So don't expect things to stay completely real, okay? It's a lie, Jack said matter-of-factly. No, though I guess if there were only two choices, it wasn't true. I shrugged. As Lappy chinned the leg of the desk chair, Jack pulled his feet tighter so his arms were wrapped around his legs. Okay, so Monsieur Lapin said, "Oh, Monsieur Renard, your tail is so glorious, but you've missed a spot." Monsieur Renard was very proud of his tail. "Where?" he demanded. "What kind of a spot?" Jack said. Maybe pine pitch." Jack nodded, and I continued. Monsieur Lapin pointed. "Right there." "No, a little more to the right." "Almost." "A little more, a little more." Soon Monsieur Renard was turning around and around, spinning so fast, trying to reach the spot that he fell down dizzy. Monsieur Lapin jumped right into those blueberries and ate them all. So it was. I couldn't tell the story as well as Pepe, but still, it had been fun to share. Lappy went up on his hind legs to look at Jack. Jack let his arms go. His fingers twitched hard as he slid one foot tentatively toward the edge of the desk chair. I held my breath as Lappy moved his chin across the toe of Jack's shoe. Then he landed on his front feet, back on the floor, and took off again, under my dresser. Jack looked over at me, his mouth open. "He claimed you," I said. Jack kept his feet up on the desk chair, but his hands stopped twitching. "Let's touch him." "You want to touch Lappy?" I asked, surprised. "Only his back." "Okay, but he doesn't like to be picked up," I said. "So sit on the floor and I'll put a blueberry next to you." As soon as Lappy came over for the blueberry, Jack reached one trembling hand out. 3 quick, barely there touches. I waited for Lappy to hop away, but he didn't. He likes you, I said. Maybe because your name sounds like a rabbit, too. Jackrabbit. Jackrabbits are really hares. Jack reached out and patted Lappy again, so lightly that I couldn't tell if he actually touched Lappy's body or just the very tips of his fur. Monsieur Lapin, he whispered, and Jackrabbit. So that's the end of the chapter, 4th grade. I hope you enjoyed listening to the chapter and watching the alpacas nosy behind me. For this chapter, what I would really like for you to do is to sort of make a connection to Jack. Have you ever been really nervous about a situation, but you were able to overcome it, perhaps like Jack did, by allowing Lappy to touch his hand and his foot? Tell me about that. Bye-bye.